Well, we've heard all kinds of great stuff about what you've been doing in the industry and kind of creating the industry in some ways, right? But now we'd like to hear a little something about something you treasure very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Star's Treasure.
Star's Treasure? Did I pull it out? Okay.
Now it's time. Yes, let us see. Pull it out and let's see.
Well, it's a little embarrassing though.
It's embarrassing.
No, it's not embarrassing. It's just it's got a kind of a long story. I'm adopted. So I was adopted when I was 5 years old. So I lived in Korea for the first, part of my life.
Okay.
And I lived with my mother, and we lived in a little tiny one room, and we had a little TV with the antenna with the tin foil and stuff.
Sure.
And I always remember on a top shelf there was a picture of me. And well, growing up in the States.
Is this the picture?
I'm going to show you the picture, yeah. But it's a baby picture. That's why I'm like,
And it's your oldest possession.
It is. It is. Because I didn't have it until I came back to Korea. But growing up in the United States, I didn't have a baby picture.
Right.
When you go to school, like first grade, everyone says, bring in a baby picture. And I go, I don't have a baby picture.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so I was able to get one. I don't know, should I show it to you?
Yes, it's time. Pull out the baby picture.
I was a fat baby, though, I have to say.
You were a fat baby, really?
Yeah, so that's my...
Yeah, that's what babies look like. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
this is your baby picture. So how did you come across your baby picture after having grown up in the States?
I met my Korean mother, and during one of the conversations I had asked her, because I didn't know how many of my memories were real and how many I had just, I might have made up, or, like, memories are not always concrete.
Yeah, no.
So, so I asked her if there was this picture, and she was like, oh, you remember that? And I said, yeah. And she was like, oh. And the next time I met her, she gave me the picture.
She brought you the picture.
Yeah.
Wow. And she had kept it all those years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that must have been quite an experience.
It was. It was very interesting. Yeah.
You grew up in Korea for 5 years then. Mm-hmm. How was your Korean? You must have lost it. Did you lose it all? Or yeah. You don't maintain Korean. And then you got adopted too. Tell us about your parents.
I was adopted by a family in the United States, and on the East Coast at a place called Delaware. Mm-hmm. And my parents are white Americans. They're wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. They must be one. I mean, I find adoption to be one of the greatest things you can do in your life. So yeah, I mean, you must be very grateful to your parents for adopting you at the age of 5 out of Korea, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
they sound like amazing people.
They are. My parents, they had already adopted a girl previously, a baby girl.
From Korea?
From Korea, but this was like 3 years before they had adopted me. And then they wanted to have an older brother. This is very unusual, by the way.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to adopt older kids.
Yeah.
And so I was very lucky to be adopted and then sent over to America. And then I lived my life there and went to college and did all sorts of stuff. And then I came back. Actually, I came back as a vacation and then stayed here. Yeah.
They wanted an older brother for the daughter that they had already adopted.
Exactly.
Huh? For the so they had adopted an infant?
Yes, yeah.
And how is your little sister?
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
What's your little sister doing?
Oh, she works in computers, data. It's like data processing in Pennsylvania. I'm trying to get her to come to Korea, but she's not that interested at this moment. But I'm trying. But the interesting thing about this whole thing was my parents adopted because they were told that they couldn't have their own children. And then like when my mother was 42 years old, she became pregnant.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
You're kidding. So you have
no, I don't kid.
The youngest is your parents' natural-born child.
Right.
And how old is he or she?
Oh, she's 22 now.
Okay, so how much younger then?
Oh, she is about. Oh, you're making me give away my age.
Sorry, nobody's going to do that, Matt.
No?
Don't worry.
Okay, all right. She's 9 years younger than me.
9 years younger than you. Okay, and so you still keep in contact with all of them, I assume.
Of course,
huh?
of course. I'm not a big fan of winter, so I like to. Go to warm places during wintertime. My parents moved to Florida, so now everybody wants to go home for Christmas.
So you go home for Christmas and you see the whole family in Florida at Christmas time.
Exactly.
Very cool, very cool. And we're going to hear a little bit more about Dan next time, and what it was like to be an adoptee, and what it was like when he came back to Korea, because we've got another 40-minute episode for all of you next time, everybody. Thanks a lot for being with us this time. Thank you, Dan.
No, thank you.
Much appreciated.
No, it's been great.
See you all next time. Wave with me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, today we got to talk to somebody who's a little bit of a pioneer, 개척자, right? A little bit of a pioneer in the spreading the word of Korean food to the world. He's started last year a tourism business, teaching people here in Korea about Korean food. All those people who are visiting have learned a lot about what kinds of things Korean food has to offer. Next time we'll be back again with Dan Gray, and he'll tell us a little bit more about his business, teaching about Korean food and educating people about the different ways of interpreting Korean food, and we'll hear a little bit about his life as an adoptee. Thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to being with you next time on Star English, everybody. Bye-bye.